It's, in my opinion, way tougher than buds. The instructors are no joke. Like, they're nitpicky on everything. Just like, they want perfection. You know, regular SEAL team, if I was going to do a house run, there might be talking, hey, I'm going left or whatever, there would be talking. Tier 1, take down a huge compound without saying a word. You just know the flow. Just flow like water.
What's the process of going from team 2 to a tier 1 team?
So you got to do, usually you have to do like 2 deployments. So each like workup and deployments around like, I mean, again, I'm speaking from past, I don't know what it is right now, is about 18 months. So a couple years in the teams, getting more experience. And then you have to submit a package. You have to show what you've done, who you're with. You submit that. Then you have to get accepted. And then you go in with your dress uniform and you have to do a board. And you've got all these guys that are at the command and they're just asking you all these questions and testing out your personality. And then there's a sheet of all the names of possible people that are going to come over. And that list goes around to everyone at the command. And if someone has a problem with you, a little note's made. It doesn't mean you can't get in. It's just like, because some people have personal issues or whatever it is. But if it's like, hey, this guy's not a good operator. Okay, tell us why. So they're trying to validate everyone that's coming in. And then after that, you get accepted to show up. And then day 1, you have a physical test, a tough one. Some people don't make that. And if you make that, then you start the training, only for more people to get dropped out once you start the training.
This is where my confusion was with the book is S&T. Is that not connected to?
So yeah, that would be the training, the 6 months training to get to our tier 1 unit.
Okay, so this is something I've not really heard that much about.
There's books out about it now and stuff like that, but it's, in my opinion, was way tougher than buds.
This is the thing that really interests me is that we're talking about the elite force. S&T separates the elite to what? The elite of the elite? Like the top 0.1% of people?
Yeah, it's a very small community. Like you've got to go through. So you did all your buds and you did your deployments at your regular team, and then you have to submit a new package and you have another 6-month training. And that's where it's like really tough, really operational. And the instructors are no joke. Like they're nitpicky on everything. Just like they want perfection, which you can't ever get, but they weed you out more. And a lot of guys don't want to go because of that very thing right there. They get to a certain point, they don't want to be weeded out anymore, which I get. I mean, I didn't want to be weeded out, but it's like, dude, you gotta at least go for it,
I think there's something really, really fascinating about this idea that, you've passed buds, you've done that, you've done deployments, you're SEALs, and then you guys are stood again at the start line. And there's all these people again, like you've stood on the start line once before where there's all these studs and these amazing people, and that was whittled down to, a very small select few. And then that is whittled down once more. Like it's just incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
So the one of the things I thought was interesting was the difference in the trainers or the what did you call them? The instructors between buds instructors and S&T instructors. The buds instructors are there to break you and try and destroy you and break you down. So what is the difference between S&T instructors?
So they do the same thing, but buds instructors have not necessarily been over this tier 1 unit. The instructors at this tier 1 unit have been and deployed with a tier 1 unit. And at that time, we've had wars going on for a couple of years. So now they're all experienced. So they know what they're talking about. They've been there, they've seen the enemy, they've operated in foreign land, in bad guy territory. They know what they're talking about. And you listen to someone that's been there and done that, you know what I mean? So they just, and a lot of it was great pointers, don't do this because of this, like try to, because it's a different take than your basic stuff, okay, but every enemy's a little different. This works, this doesn't work as well.
So now what separates a SEAL from a tier 1 SEAL?
Experience, a lot of it's money and gear, the gear that we get, the assets that we have more assets at our fingertips. We get more operations because we're a tier 1 unit, which means we can go at a moment's notice where, our other SEAL counterparts are not. Not that the other SEAL counterparts are not awesome. We wish that, because we use Army Rangers a lot as like our blocking forces or stuff like that. Like, it would be awesome if we could have our SEAL counterparts come over and do that job. I don't understand why that never worked out, but it's just a little bit different, a little bit target set differently, and we focus on different stuff, more smaller unit tactics than other SEAL teams.
What's the characteristics that separate those kind of things?
I'd say aggression. That's probably the biggest word that pops up right now is aggression. It's faster. It's a lot faster. It's a lot faster just because you know your job. You don't need to go, like if you do CQB with a regular SEAL team, a number SEAL team, not that there's, again, anything bad about them whatsoever. We all got to start there. But again, that's where you started. And after a bunch of deployments and more training, you should be at a higher place. So now you've got veterans in the SEAL community coming together where, like, a regular SEAL team, if I was going to do a house run, there might be talking, hey, I'm going left or whatever, there would be talking. Tier 1, take down a huge compound without saying a word. You just know the flow. You just flow like water. It's amazing. It's so cool.
Just a quick interruption from the video. I want to talk about today's sponsor, LMNT. If you've been watching Mulligan Brothers for a while, you know we're constantly on the road, filming documentaries, training with elite performers, and chasing stories of resilience. That kind of schedule means long days, early mornings, and a lot of sweat, literally. But most sports drinks out there are full of sugar, fake colors, and barely any real electrolytes. That's why we've partnered with LMNT, a zero sugar drink mix that has 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium in every single stick. No dodgy ingredients, science-backed hydration, trusted by the Navy SEALs, everyday athletes, CrossFit champions, and now us. They've just dropped their limited time lemonade salt, which has quite quickly become my favorite flavor, but it's only available as a limited drop, so make sure you get it while stocks last. Right now, LMNT is giving our community a free sample pack with every single purchase. Just head to drinkelement.com/mulligan and grab yours. All you need to do is add your favorite product to your cart, and LMNT will automatically add the free sample pack with their most popular drink flavors. No promo code needed. It'll only work if you follow the dedicated link in the description. And if you don't love it, they'll refund your order, no questions asked. That's how confident they are. That's drinkelement.com/mulligan to get a free sample pack with a link down below. Stay salty, and let's dive back into the episode.
The SEER school stuff, the story of being locked in the box, some of those lessons there about them trying to mentally break you down, I think could really show us the top level of like where people's minds can, like what we can achieve or what we can do, or how we can, how powerful this can be and how it can be used against you as well. Could you explain what that is? So what does the acronym stand for, SEER?
So SEER, oh man, it's been so long. I think it's like survive, escape, resist, evacuate. I don't know, but something like that, like escape, and people are gonna be like, dude, it's this. And I can't, I'm drawing a blank on it. Now I gotta like look it up. But anyways, it's like if you were captured is getting away.
Yeah.
Right? There's like survive, escape, resist. What is that last one? I don't know. But it's getting away, like try to find any opportunity to get away from your captors, right? So it's like not a good place to be. So what happened, and again, this changes as well. Our initial thing was they put us in a box for, I think it was like 30 hours. And like you couldn't put your feet straight, you couldn't stand up, and you like it wasn't that wide. And the only thing in there was a coffee can as your toilet. Like, thank God it was a bigger one. So a bigger like coffee can to go number 1 or number 2. And there's just, your buddies are next to you. There's just these rows of these boxes. But dude, that sucked. And I think the only reason that I don't like being in confined spaces, but I think the fact that I knew that I could break out of there if I had to was like my saving grace. But yeah, just like you just sit there and they like pull you out at certain times and they interrogate you and you got to like hold your pants while they they can slap you, but you can't raise your hand or they'll kick you out. And they video everything, much like we're doing right now. They'll video everything so you can learn your tells, because they give you the story before you go in. Like, here was your operation. Here's what you know. Okay, let's go. So they obviously know it because they're the ones that gave it to you, and they just try to pinpoint holes of like, you can say this because this is part of this, or you can't say this stuff. Why'd you just do this? Why'd you dime out your guys? Why didn't you? And you just kind of, it's kind of like reverse training almost. Like usually you would go to classes. Okay, now let's do the main event. This is like, all right, here's the main event. Okay, let's critique or hot wash everything that you did or did not do.
Wow. Okay. And then running through simulations and role playing of missions. Like, I don't know if I'm a bit dyslexic. So, well, I'm dyslexic. So when not a bit, I am.
Love your ownership.
Yeah. So when I was reading the book, there was, I don't know if it was written this way on purpose, but you explain a mission where you I think you go onto a boat and you burst onto a boat, and then there's the enemy, and you have to figure out who's the enemy and all this kind of stuff. And you just talk about this, but I think it's revealed afterwards that it was a training exercise. Yeah. Is it written like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
cool.
So that was actually Keith's idea.
Yeah.
Like Keith Wood.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was like, dude, let's make it, and we actually submitted because we had to submit the whole writing to DOD for approval, just because of the unit I was at. And I'm like, they are so taking this out, and they didn't. We were both surprised. I thought they were, but they didn't.
And so is that how real they felt? Because obviously I read that like,
it's like that, especially because we were doing a cruise ship. That's what that training was.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't know, especially there when you've got like ballrooms and multiple different sized rooms. I mean, talk about, you open a door, you think it's a small room, and it turns into being this huge ballroom with all these tables with hundreds of people. Okay, cool. Figure it out. What? You got to process that stuff. Who's bad? Who's not? And that's why you do the training.
And that preparation was good, like a good simulation of what you was actually getting yourself in for. Little did you know, but was it?
Yeah. I mean, that's what you could be up against. I mean, that's what, like, one of the main reasons why SEAL team was developed was to deal with hostage rescues on a cruise ship. That was like one of the main reasons. So we would train for it.
How does it separate the elite top 0.1%? Like, how is the S&T or Team 6, like, what is it? What are you separating? Because obviously you can't, it's not about running faster or, I could be wrong, but I'm thinking it's not about running faster or more push-ups or more pull-ups or anything like that. There's something else that they're looking for at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to your mind. I mean, willing and good at working as a team. I mean, at that point, mission's got to be number one, which is why, the family life usually kind of crumbles. But yeah, it's got to be your priority. It has to be a priority when you're at that level. And it was for a lot of guys, especially when that your next deployment is in a combat zone. And you make it back alive, and that you're going to be going again, as long as the way the op tempo was going on and with what the events were at the time. But I think just, dude, I keep just that aggression. Like, you just take it to the enemy hard and fast and as smartly as we possibly could. It was just a different dynamic.